Hello everyone, Shifali here. So today I'm going to cover a topic EBS, that is Elastic Block Storage. Let's first see what is EBS. Yeah, so EBS, it provides a highly available, reliable, durable block level storage that can be attached to running instance. So it is basically attached to an instance, okay, and one EBS can be attached to only one EC2 instance, okay. One EBS cannot be attached to multiple EC2 instances, right? And necessarily that EBS and the particular instance with which you are attaching, they both should be in the same AZ. That is a very important point here. And EBS, it acts like a physical hard drive for your instance. Okay, EBS volume persists independently from the running life of an instance, and it's like a raw, unformatted external block device. Now, EBS volumes also allows encryption. So it's optional. If you want to encrypt your EBS volumes, there is an option. We will see in the demo part. So you can checkbox that. Okay. And all data stored at rest and snapshots are created from the volumes which are encrypted. So basically, if your volume is encrypted, then the snapshot which is created from your volume will also be encrypted. And if your volume is unencrypted, then the snapshot that is created from that particular volume will be unencrypted, but you can encrypt it later definitely. So what is snapshot? So snapshot basically, it is a one second. Yeah, snapshot, it's like a point in time snapshot which is used for recovery purpose. Okay, they are incremental backups, which means that only the blocks on the device that have changed after your most recent snapshot are saved. Okay, so that means only the recent part which is changed will be saved onto the snapshot. They are the incremental backups. EBS volumes are created in specific AZ and can be attached to any instances. Okay, so when we have created a snapshot, we can take it to the different AZs, and we can also take it to the across regions for the backup purpose. So snapshots can also be copied to other regions and then restored to the new volumes. So we will check in the demo how from a volume we can create a snapshot, and again from a snapshot how we can create a new volume. That we will check in the demo part as well. Then we have different types of EBS volume types. So we have general purpose, provision input outputs, and magnetic. Okay, and if you see the comparison here, it's shown in the table here. So for general purpose, the volume size is like up to 16 terabytes starting from 1 GB, whereas for provision it's from 4 GB to 16 terabytes. And use cases for general purpose, it is used mainly for operating system, for boot volumes. Okay, whereas where we need input output intensive, uh, at that time we go for the provision input output operations here. So we can see here the maximum throughput is quite pretty different, and maximum IOPS per volume in general we have 10,000, whereas in provision we have 20,000. So if we have more critical applications and we want good performance, then we go for the provision input outputs, whereas for small to medium applications we go for general purpose. And then we have one more volume type, that is hard disk drive, in which we have the throughput optimized and the cold HDD, and the last one is magnetic, which is the traditional way. It is basically used for infrequent data access. And for throughput optimized, it is used for huge data, huge big data. Okay, and for big data, for logs, whereas the cold HDD, it is cheap in the cost. Okay, it cannot be a boot volume, and the use case here is throughput oriented, whereas in case of the HTD, that is throughput optimized, we have the infrequent data access. So we can see the difference here. Rest maximum IOPS here 500, here 250, whereas maximum throughput here 500 megabytes per second, whereas it is 250 megabytes per second. So the cheapest is the cold HDD, and magnetic is rarely used. That is the traditional purpose here. So okay, now we will go to the demo part here. So I will go to my Amazon account. As you can see here, this is my account, and I am here till it's a global showing here. So the first thing is I will go to my EC2 service, and I'm going to launch 2 instances. Okay, so now I am into the region of North Virginia. So I am going to create 2 instances. As you can see, it's 0 here. Till now we have no instance. So I will launch an instance here. First, I will launch here Linux instance. So I will select the first option with the free tier, and I will not change much of the configurations, because here our purpose is to create the EBS and to create the volumes and snapshots. So basically I will take almost everything as by default. uh, Default my VPC subnet. Okay, I can choose if I want. Okay, so okay, let's choose default US to 1 EC here. Auto public assign I will do here, and rest options, yeah, I will take it as default. Next, add storage. So this is the part where we are focusing today in this topic. So as you can see, this is a root volume, which is basically a hard disk for your machine, and this is used for the operating system and for the boot drive. We can add volume. So if I want to add volume, like in your system you have D drive, E drive, so it's similar thing here. And I can change the size if I want here. Okay, maybe if I want to do 100, I can do 100 also here. Okay, and if you see here, in case of root, there are 3 options. Any of the one I can choose here. But in case of EBS, I have 5 options. Okay, so basically because cold HDD and the throughput HDD, they are not used as a root volume. They are not used for bootstrapping and for the operating system purpose. So that's why in the general purpose where we have the root volume, we are getting only 3 options. So I can add here. If I want, I can do encryption. So as I told you, if we are doing encryption, so when we create snapshot, we will get the encrypted snapshot. So it's up to us whether we want to choose or not. Now, as you can see here, a free tier can get up to 30 GB. So I will reduce here to reduce my bill also. Next, add tags. So I can add a tag here. So as you know, this is my Linux machine. So I will give a name here, my Linux EBS. Okay, so here we are giving the name for instance. So I will give the name here instance here, my Linux instance. Security group. So I can create a new security group here, and I will give here the name as Linux and -SG as my security group. And I will add one more rule, maybe the here HTTP I can add. Okay, so access on the port 80, review and launch. So as you can see here, it's showing it's not eligible for the free tier usage. So what I can do, like definitely after finishing of this, I should terminate it to avoid my extra billing. And I'll click on the launch. I have already a key pair, so I will check box and launch instance. So this is my first instance, that is my Linux instance here. Okay, we can check on the view instances. Okay, so let's see. This is my Linux instance. It's pending. Okay, so these two are the previous one. We are not using this one. So the fresh one which I have created is my Linux instance. It's still pending, it's launching. In the meantime, I will launch one more instance. Okay, and now I will use Windows. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so I'm taking this one, Windows server 2019 base. It's under the free tier. Select, and general purpose I will take. Okay, next. Okay, so I will take all the settings as default. Next, add storage. So this is the part we are focusing. Now you see here the size GB is by default 30. I cannot reduce. I can increase, but I cannot reduce this size, right? If I want to do it 40, it's fine, but I cannot reduce it. Okay, so I will take the minimum 30 itself. Here also I can add a volume. Okay, suppose I am taking here as yeah, 30 more here. So next, add tags, and here, as this is my Windows instance, so I will give here name my Windows instance security group. Okay, so if I take existing one, and with the, okay, this one, if I take this one, review and launch, it is telling me you will not be able to connect to this instance as the AMI requires port 3389. So what I should do, I will go to the previous one and I will create a new security group. Okay, and I want the port 3389 here. Okay, so yeah, this is done. Review and launch the instance. I will use my same key pair, and now my new window instance is creating. Okay, so as you can see, Linux instance already created, and it is initializing with the checks, that is 2x2 checks, as you can see here, status checks here. Okay, and so we have to wait for some more time to have our instance to be fully created. Okay, now I was talking about the volumes. Now if you see here on the left side, we have the volumes. If I click on the volumes, okay, it is loading, right? So now as you can see, this is my Linux instance, 8 GB, again 30 GB here. Okay, so out of these, 2 are the old one and 2 are the new one. Okay, now suppose I want to create a volume. I will show you on the instance first. Now both are running. Okay, my Linux instance, let's go here. It is in the region US East 1C. Okay, in the region North Virginia. AZ is US East 1C. Okay, now after choosing this instance, let's go to the actions, and here you can see, if I do connect here, I will close it. Okay, so I will go to volumes. I will create a volume here. Okay, and I will give a volume type. I can choose whichever I want. Okay, general purpose SSD. Size 100 I am taking here. Suppose I want 200, so I can give 200. Now, okay, minimum is 1 GB. Now I will create a snapshot. So I will give a snapshot name. Okay, so my new snapshot, and I'm giving here Linux. So because I'm planning to create it for my Linux instance, will it take? Yeah, so let's create a volume here. So I will click on the create volume. Okay, I'm choosing the type general purpose. I am not taking a snapshot, I am just creating a volume. So I will give a name here. Okay, and I will give here my first Linux volume. Okay, create volume. So as you can see, volume has created. Let's refresh it once. Okay, so this is the volume which I have created with 100 GB size. Okay, 300 IOPS, as you can see. Now if I want to attach this volume with my Linux instance, so what I will do, actions, okay, attach volume. Now I want to attach it with my, yeah, now see what is the case. Our AZ should be same. Okay, now if you see here, my volume here is in the US East 1A, whereas if you see the instance, okay, so here my Linux instance is in US East 1C. So what should I do? Okay, my AZ should be same. So okay, I will create one more volume here. Okay, and I will choose the region US East 1C because that is my AZ for the instance, and I will give here a name, and here I will give the value as US East 1C Linux volume. Okay, create volume. Yeah, so we will refresh here again. Okay, so let's see where is, yeah, so this is my US East 1C Linux volume with 100 GB size. Okay, now if I want to attach this volume to an instance, so attach volume. Okay, now let's see, our instance name is coming here. Okay, my Linux instance, and see the device, so attach. Okay, so this is the way how to attach a volume to an instance. Basically, we are adding the, you can say, physical storage, more of physical storage to an instance. Okay, so if you see here, this is the metadata AZ1C size 100 GB. Okay, and if we go to the instance now, as we have, attached the volume to it. So my Linux instance, let's see the metadata here. Okay, so as you can see here, yeah, we have the volume, root device EBS, root devices, and block devices. Okay, so we have attached the extra devices, extra physical storage to this instance, right? Okay, now the other part is with the volume created. Okay, let's go to the volumes again. Okay, so this was the volume which I created. With this actions, I can create a snapshot like this. Okay, so I will give a name as new snapshot. This is just a description. Here I will give the name, and okay, so it was US East 1C Linux snapshot. Okay, so this is how to create a snapshot from a volume. And now that snapshot can be used for backup purpose. Okay, see, this is the snapshot which we have just created, and this snapshot can be used for backup purpose. And through this snapshot, I can create a new volume. So I will go to the actions, create volume. So I can create a new volume with this snapshot. Now you remember one thing, because snapshot was of 100 GB size. Okay, because that original volume was 100 GB, so I cannot reduce it. Okay, I can increase the size. If I do here 110, fine, I can increase the size, but I cannot decrease the size when I'm creating a new volume from the snapshot. Okay, so this is how I can create. I can give a name here. Okay, new, this is Linux. Okay, new Linux volume from the snapshot, right? Yeah. Okay, so the purpose is here. What we have done now, if you go to the volumes also, see, new Linux volume snapshot. So what is the purpose? First we created instance, two different instances, Linux and Windows. Okay, then we went to the volumes, we created the volume. Okay, so this is my first Linux volume which I created. Okay, and then I created this volume, US East 1C. So remember that AZ should be same for the volume as well as for the instance. Okay, again I'm repeating here. If you see here, my Linux instance is in US East 1C. Okay, so the volume also should be US East 1C, otherwise it will not work. Okay, this is the first part what we did. After that, from this volume we created a snapshot. So this was the snapshot. Okay, and the third part which we did is, from this snapshot again we created a volume. So this is the new volume which I created from the snapshot. Okay, so basically snapshots, they are used for the backup purpose. So that is what I wanted to show in this tutorial about elastic block storage. It is a persistent storage. Okay, it is like a physical storage, and we can add as many storage as we want. Okay, and we can create new volumes, we can create the snapshots from the volumes, we can use encryption if you want, and that's it. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Have a nice day.